Everything the light touches is our kingdom. Isaiah 32. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Welcome to the kingdom.
Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
Revelation 14. And I looked, and lo, a Lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts, and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters.
See, this is what we're hoping for. This is part of our hope. Not only that we're members of the elect with fruits meet for repentance, like John the Baptist said, but from our low estate, because we've been brought low, even though we have this knowledge, we have this truth. Remember what it said in Revelation. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Because we're rich in faith. We have this knowledge. So our hope is at our last end, we're going to be increased. Okay? And if you ask me, the greatest riches right now is to be delivered by Yahweh Shai, is to get that new body that the Apostle Paul spoke about in 1 Corinthians 15th chapter, to get that, get that new body where we'll never be sick, we'll be immortals, like it said in 1 Corinthians 15, to be delivered from the coming destruction, and to be a part of Yahweh Shai's cabinet in the next kingdom. Okay, those are the real riches right now. That's what we want to get. Because if you get that, you got everything. I mean, you got everything. Okay, so our sights are set a lot higher than this present world. All right, as it is written, the fashion of this world shall pass away. We are individuals of vision, and the scripture said, where an individual lacks vision, he perishes. Okay, so we can see the future. All right, and we hope that we're going to be part of it, beginning with the elect.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, did mention, rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right, and what we are going to get into this morning, this morning news and prophecy, and dealing with Esau is introducing his tech God. All right, he's introducing his technology God. Okay, and he's presenting to the masses as if he has the path, to transcending, human, limitations, that he's going to be able to transcend, the limitations put on humans by the Most High, and it's a complete rebellion. What the devil is doing, he's telling the world, look, we're finna go beyond what the Most High intended. We got something better, okay? We become wiser, we become smarter, we become stronger, we become more intelligent, okay? And we have the ability now to transcend the bounds of the Most High, okay? Because when he speaks about transcending and liberty, he's speaking that towards the Most High, okay? And he's picturing it just the same way he pitched it in the garden, to Eve, as if the Most High was holding her back, okay? And he had a path that she can transcend her role given to her by the Most High, okay? I got something better than being a wife, than being a mother, and that's why you even look at, the world today, a woman that get offended if you, describe her in the context of a wife and a mother as if you're cutting her short. With your wife and a mother, that's a vast and vague office, and it's very vital for the function of a nation, which is vital for the function of a society, okay? And you go into how this devil, was able to manipulate Eve. Well, he's doing it on a mass scale to everyone, with this technology, which is nothing but witchcraft. Going back to the garden, the serpent, okay, which we know was a man, just had those serpent-like qualities, crafty, patient, understood how to blend in, had time, his timing was on point, and when to, plant that seed of rebellion on Eve, okay? And we see this devil, these Edomites today, they rule in the same craftiness, man, and they've been pushing, okay, this rebellion, all right, through technology, you see, through this whole thing of transhumanism. Now, let's get a few precepts, okay, because we know what we're dealing with when dealing with Esau, man. Okay, this man was created to be rebellious. You see. Now, when you go, matter of fact, let's get this real quick and show you that what we see now started in the garden. Okay, when you go to let's get in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. All right, so when you go into Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse let me see. Back, I'm gonna start up a little bit. All right, now you go into Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Speaks about these devils and their mindset. They're gearing up to persecute the prophets. How the prophets are not like other men, their ways of another fashion. That was made to rebuke our thoughts. Because as the devil is rolling this out, guess what? The prophets are here to rebuke his thoughts. Okay, because it always was a envy. Even going back to the garden, the serpent was envious of Adam and the order and instruction and the spirit that he had. The blessing that he had from the Father. Okay, Cain was envious of Abel because his sacrifice was accepted because Abel had an obedient spirit. He was accepted of the Most High. Okay, what did Cain do? He killed him. It's a serpent. He tricked Adam out of his rulership. Cain, he just killed Abel straight out. The first ever recorded murder. You see? Now Esau in this time, all right, he's moving like the serpent and Cain. He's trying to replace the Most High with witchcraft and enchantments and technology. Okay? And he just wants to eradicate, their righteous lineage. You see? But these things, this is it's not a new thing. The devil didn't just come up, with this spirit that he's in. This just didn't come about, since Trump got back in office. No, this spirit that's on Esau, Edom, beginning with their elites, goes way back to the garden, if you can receive it. Okay, so when you go to Wisdom of Solomon 2:21, it says, such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. And this devil is blinded, because he's been able to prosper, so much with his wickedness, that he thinks in his mind that, look, we're just going to eradicate as many Israelites as we can. We're going to merge people with this technology. We're going to change what it means to be a human, and we're going to govern the world through AI. We're going to create our own ending. We don't want to deal with prophecy, okay? Because in prophecy they lose. So Esau like, look, we're going to rewrite our own ending. You see? We have the means now. We have the data. We have the technology. No other, heathen has ever had what we had, possessed what we possess. Okay? So in his mind, this devil is blinded by his wickedness, man, to where he thinks that he's going to pull all these things off. And the Lord got him blinded so he can attempt it, so the Lord can show power through judgment, man. Okay? Esau was set up for judgment, man. A lot of this shit that Esau plans on doing and talks about he's going to do, he's not going to get to it, man. Okay? He has so far before he's cut off. And we know when he mandate that MOTB, he's at the end of the road. Okay? It says, as for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for blameless souls. See, we're in a time where we're going to be blessed. Everything that the devil, okay, is trying to force on the left-hand side through technology, being able to, enhance himself. Okay, well, we're going to get that in the twinkling of an eye. Okay? The Lord's going to enhance his elect. all right, of Israel. He's going to enhance his people in the twinkling of an eye. Everything that this devil is, studying nanotechnology and mRNA and trying to, do brain surgeries and try to, transfer the spirit from one body to the next. And, all this that he's trying to do, all this money and failed and, certain things he can do to a degree. A lot of shit be failing, then he come act like he got it together, but he don't, but he trying. In his mind, if Esau can do this, well, I can do this. I can do anything. Okay? Well, nah, man, this man has major limitations, man. You see, and he's always trying to fight against those limitations put on him by the Most High. Okay? And it's just going to get to the point where the Lord is going to remove this nigga from power, man. He's going to, see, this man, Esau had just had all these unlimited attempts at trying shit, just doing shit, man. Trying this, so let's put the monkey head on him, let's see how long the monkey can stay alive without, the rest of his body. Let's see, and just all these random experiments to try to go beyond the limitations set on him by the Most High. Okay, it said, as for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for blameless souls. For the Most High created man to be immortal and made them to be an image of his own eternity. And that's Adam and the sons of God that he created to be immortal, because only Adam got that breath. You see, these nations, beginning with Esau trying to tap into immortality, they're out of order. Okay, they're completely out of order trying to tap into immortality. It's not for them. And Esau, he's not the only nation, the only heathen that tried. You have other heathens that are obsessed with immortality. Well, that's a gift, okay, that the Lord gave to Israel. Okay, and see, this captivity is making us appreciate, the blessings that the Lord gave us in the beginning. You see, Adam was given this, but he didn't appreciate it. That's why he failed. You see, he didn't have the appreciation for it, but that's all he knew. But now, as we know, death, chaos, okay, the madness, being under Esau, we know, wait, there's a far better way. We had it better in Genesis. You see, we had it far better in Genesis, man. Okay, that's when we was in good standings to our power. Okay. But when Adam, transgressed, listening to Eve, he transgressed. Okay. It's been a fallen state ever since. And these heathens in this fallen state, they've been trying to tap into the blessing that was promised to us, which is immortality, man, with Esau being at the forefront. You see? And that's why he's always doing all these crazy ass wild experiments. Because even the New World Order, that's just him beginning to experiment transhumanism on the masses, man. Okay, and he's going to have so much control that there can't be an uproar. His mind, look, I'm going to have so much control that I can just experiment on these niggas with this technology. Okay, because there's no way this man is going to give you immortality, man, and he don't got it. Okay, and if he did got it, he for damn sure wouldn't give it away to anyone else, man. And they think, that amongst these elite families that they're going to reach some type of godhood. Okay, that they're going to transcend and make themselves God, man. Which all it goes back to the age of enlightenment. Well, it was revived during the age of enlightenment because it goes back beyond, this recent age of enlightenment. But the age of enlightenment brought these ideologies to the forefront. Infused them with, with the colleges, the curriculums, the movies, the intellectual circles, governments, so forth and so on. All right. So reading on, verse 24 said, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they, all right, that hold on his side do find it. Yeah, man. So if you latch on to this devil's ideology, it only leads to death. Okay? Well, all these promises he made, because he made Eve promises. Did he make Eve promises? He shall not surely die. And what happened? Death. Okay? And you look at the condition of the sons of God today, that lineage, you look at the curses we're under, man. That was the worst decision ever made, man. Okay? He either listened to, the serpent, then bring that to Adam. Then Adam transgressed, man. That's why Ezra said, "Oh, Adam, what hast thou done?" You go into the book of Second Ezra, man. "Oh, Adam, what hast thou done?" You see, or through Yahushua, all right, that second Adam, which we know, Yahushua was Adam, and he came back, all right, to correct that, man. That's why he knew he had to be that sacrifice, man. That's why when he realized there was no other way, he knew, like, okay, I gotta go through with this. We gotta get this right, man. He took it. He took his, his failure. He took our sins and put on him. And took that. He took that torture to death, man, for us to get back to this glory. Okay, of immortality, man. You see, of being having the true privileges of the sons of God. And see, it ain't for you Edomites. Okay, the birthright was never yours. All right, you damn devil. You're not worthy of a birthright, man. Okay, look at how you rule. Look at how you rule with the authority the Lord has given you. Look at what you're doing. Okay, you're destroying the earth itself, trying to play the Most High. And nothing in you is telling you to stop, because it's not in you, man. You're not meant, all right, to rule, man. You was a chastisement for, the Lord's people. You see, you was a whipping stick for the Lord's people, but now there's a remnant that has awakened, and as we, all right, are becoming, as the lesson the Lord wanted us to learn, is it becoming more clear that there's no other way to rule the planet Earth outside of the righteousness of Yahweh Shem Shah. There's no other way to rule the earth, man. And we thirst for that now. We thirst for that authority to enforce righteousness, man. You see, we appreciate, all right, the authority that's coming now. And we understand the responsibility of it, man. Okay, and as we're understanding it as sons of God, the Lord is, closing out Esau's rulership. But before then, this devil would go all out, to attempt to bless himself, with this new world order. This is Esau trying to bless himself on the left hand. You see, it said, "Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold on his side do find it." Okay, so it's through, Esau, which we know was Cain, which we know, all right, was a serpent, all right. It's through this nigga comes death, that brought death to the sons of God. You see? Because of what? Because of envy. And right now he's trying to do everything in his power to bless himself with our blessing, man. And it's gonna fail, and it's tacky. It's tacky as hell, man. And this nigga, he got things that he can do, but a lot of things this nigga just be capping, man. There's a lot of things that this devil can't do, man. It's a lot of things he can do. It's a lot of things he can't do. Okay? And it's very tacky how he's trying to go about this new world order, man, and trying to bless himself, with immortality. Okay? Now, let's see. Let's go from there. So let's get this first video. Play this.
Fact that organic or biological evolution has about come to only if what I tell you appears absolutely unbelievable, have any chance of visualizing the future as it really will happen. I'm perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain scans in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand. The most intelligent inhabitants of that future world won't be men or monkeys. They'll be machines. They will start to think, and eventually they will completely outthink their makers. Is this depressing? I don't see why it should be. I suspect that organic or biological evolution has about come to its end.
And if a brother could put Isaiah 29 and 16, and also Isaiah 45 and I believe it's 9. You know, Isaiah 45 and 9 and Isaiah 29 and 16. And also what's that? 2 Thessalonians. You can get chapter 2 verses, I think 3 through 3 through 9.
We're now at the beginning of inorganic or mechanical evolution, and that is why the future is so endlessly fascinating, because try as we can, we'll never outguess it.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
Yeah,
You're hesitating.
well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long
There's so many
hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in
the
this.
human race survive?
This radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. So we want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. The critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul.
The promise of Christianity in the end is you get the perfected body and the.
Let's say Christianity, okay, deals with more myths, okay, because that promise is only for a lineage of people, you know, to be perfected and get those new bodies. Okay, that's one of the blessings. Okay, matter of fact, a brother can get that. The days of Israel are innumerable. Okay, the days of Israel is innumerable. See, that's what Christianity doesn't deal with, is the lineage that was promised to. That wasn't promised to everybody, and that's one of the biggest perks of being an Israelite, is that we're a nation of people that's promised immortality, but it's in righteousness. Before we get immortality, we have to be perfected in righteousness first, before the Lord will grant us immortality, man. Okay, so they ain't just put some random nigga and go get dunked in some water and call on Jesus Christ and put on some khakis and them thin ass church shoes, and this nigga gonna be immortal. No, man. Okay, that's for a lineage of people, and it begins with the elect of Israel. Okay, it begins with the nation of Israel, and it ends with the nation of Israel when it comes to immortality, man. You know, so let's get a couple precepts. It's a lot just hit me, you know, just speaking on that. Let's get that in second Ezra chapter 2 verses 10 through 13 as well. So let's start getting some of these precepts. All right, this is be Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Okay, because this devil, he has turned upside down the righteousness of the Lord. You know, this devil, his whole thing is to destroy righteousness, man. Going back to the serpent. You know, his whole thing with coming to Eve was to destroy a righteous order. The woman in order to a husband, all right, the man, all right, the sons of God in order to their power. He wanted to destroy their order. Okay, that's what this devil is all about, destroying a righteous order. You see, that's why what he came in this time with the feminism, the alphabet. Okay, you know you know the violence. You know, he glorified violence. Okay, so everything that the scriptures are against, this man amplifies and rewards and glorifies, man. So he has completely turned the righteousness of the scriptures upside down and calls it a society. You know, as the scriptures say, Wisdom Solomon 14, these great things call they peace. You know, these great plagues call they peace, man. So this man has made wickedness, okay, the cultural norm. He's made rebellion against the Most High. The cultural norm is casual now. People are in the all out, and it's just a casual rebellion against the Most High. Okay, surely this man has turned everything upside down, but the Lord says it's going to be esteemed as a potter's clay, because the Most High is the potter that made Esau, man. And what does a potter do to a vessel that he displeased with? He breaks it up. Okay, so we're seeing that's why this war has started, because this is the war that's going to break up, okay, Esau's empire and his ideologies, man. Okay, it says, for shall a work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall a thing frame say of him that he have no understanding? And this is what this devil is saying when he goes into his transhumanism, and he's talking about he can enhance this and make people have better memory and make their limbs stronger and do this and do that. He's telling them, he's saying the Most High, like, look, your creation is flawed. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna enhance it. Okay, your creation is lacking. I'm gonna enhance the creation. Okay, that's what this devil is saying. When this whole transhumanism is all about him telling the Most High, look, we're gonna take it farther. We're gonna transcend what you created in Genesis. Okay, and we have the data now. We have the intelligence. We have the insight now. Okay, we can create our own God. We can be transcend to Godhood and create our own God. This whole AI is him on the quest to create his own God. Okay, which that goes back to the age of enlightenment, you know, which was nothing but a revival of heathens of old. You were going back to the Romans, okay, with this ideology of, you know, the man becoming God or man creating their own God, man. Okay, and that's why when you take this chip, it's bigger than you just being able to continue to buy and sell. Okay, it's bigger than, you know, you getting the chip is bigger than you can keep going to Arby's. Okay, you know, pay your PlayStation subscription. No, it's bigger than that, man. You're linking yourself to a great rebellion. That's why the punishment is so harsh, man. Okay, this is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah, 2 Thessalonians 2:4, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, man. So this devil, he wants to sit in the seat of the Most High, okay, which means he wants to take the reins of existence, okay, and he thinks that he has the capability through technology to do that. Now he thinks that it's how delusional, and it's not even close. He's nowhere near, because you can't. If there's nobody that can understand what it takes to be the Most High, but the Most High. You see, Esau think that okay, if I can watch everything, if I can put a device in everything, I can be the Most High. It's far more complex than that, being the Most High. Okay, being able to spy on everybody, okay, or try to tamper with people's, you know, neurological system, and you know, it's far more than that, man. Okay, but this devil, he thinks that he can sit in the seat of the Most High. He thinks that he can handle the day-to-day operations of the Most High with technology, witchcraft, man. Okay, completely out of his goddamn mind. All right, now this is the brother Tazwan Hopeful Elect, Sirach 37:25. The days of the life of man may be numbered, and that's all the heathen. but the days of Israel are innumerable, because only Israel is promised everlasting life and the everlasting kingdom. Only Israel is promised that. Okay? That's why it's not for you heathens. That's why you heathens can never tap into it. Okay? And they talk about this and that. We got this going on. Well, wait a minute. Why haven't any of your elites lived to be 200 years yet? What progress are you making? These niggas be having heart transplants. These niggas aging. Look at that nigga Rockefeller before he died. Look how hideous that nigga look. Jacob Rothschild. These niggas be slumped over. Okay, nigga, you can't even fix your vertebrae. Okay, so you niggas ain't even made no progress like that. Okay, he got things that he can do, and he does. See, Esau he'll pull off something, you know, that's never be done, and he'll just make it seem like he just got it all figured out. Nah, man. If that was the case, why haven't any of these elites lived to be 200, 300 years? If you want to talk about immortality, and nigga, you ain't did 200 years yet, all this time, all this technology, all this money you done put into it, and you ain't nobody lived 200 years yet from you elites. And you know how Esau is, man. A proud nigga, man. If he was able to live 200 years, man, he would show that off to the world, man. Okay? Because it would do wonders for persuading people that he got it figured out, man. But nah, man. The days of Israel are innumerable, man. We're going to be the only immortals in existence, man. Okay? It's not for you nations, man. You're not built to be immortal, man. You don't have the integrity. You don't have the relationship with how about Shem Al-Shah to be immortal, man. What's that? Wisdom of Solomon 1:15. Okay? Yep. It's perfect. It's the beloved brother Eliashua Woman, Remnant Save 144. It said, let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to the Most High. And he thinks that if he can transition his body, all right, created by the Most High, into a body created by him through technology, then he can be free from having to obey the Most High. He's not subjugated to, okay, the bounds of the Most High. If he can transition to a body that he made. You know, this man is trying to duplicate the spirit, you know, the body, you know, the functions. You see? He's trying to GMO life, man. This man is trying to genetically modify life, man. He's trying to GMO the spirit. When you really get into what the devil is trying to do. You know? And he wants to be free, okay, from, you know, the oversight of the Most High, man. You know? Which that's impossible. You see? So let's keep going. Yeah, this is the brother servants of Yahushua 144. And it says, woe unto him that scribeth with his maker. Let the potshare scribe with the potshares of the earth. Shall the clay, all right, let's like it says, shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou, or thy work? He have no hands. And this is Esau. He's trying to scribe with his maker now. Okay? You see, Esau was dominating when he was just, you know, ruling over the nations of the earth and throwing his weight around in the earth and his influence and his ideologies. And, you know, he was a god of this world, you know, when he was in his lane. But now that he wants to replace the Most High with technology, see, now he's way out of his weight class. Okay? And when the Lord decides to hit back, he ain't gonna be able to stand it. Okay, all this questioning, you know, and it's very disrespectful how he's just questioning everything about creation, and he's speaking from a place as like he's when he speaks about, you know, man, a post-human age, you know, with AI and technology, there's gonna be a post-human age. Okay, well, he's speaking about, okay, look, we're gonna outdo the Most High. Humans are old. The creations of the God of the Bible well, their creation is played out. We got something new. You see, that's him telling the creator, like, look, we got something better that we finna roll out. Okay. So let's yep, let's get this. Going back to this is another from the beloved brother Eliashua Woman, Remnant Save 144, Ecclesiastes 8:8. It says, none of us can hold this in the NLT. None of us can hold back our spirit from departing. Yeah, and Esau can't do that. Don't give a damn what enchantment he do. Okay, don't give a damn how much he spend on the best scientists and tampering with the genes and the cells and the atoms and okay, the neurological systems. And, okay, when the Most High summon that spirit, you're done. Okay, because Evelyn Rothschild out of here, Jacob Rothschild out of here. Okay, it don't matter. You see, so everything that this devil is doing is in vain. All right, and that's why the scriptures say that the Most High shall have them in derision. You see, this is comical to the Most High what these devils are trying to do. All right, because no matter how much money they amass, they still subjugate to death. That's why I say, ain't none of the Rothschild lived 200-300 years. You ain't making no progress. Okay, it said none of us has the power to prevent the day of our death. There is no escaping that obligation, their dark battle. Okay, there's no escaping that obligation, man. Okay, only nation that's gonna have victory over death is Israel. You see, you nations will be forever subjugated to the obligation of death, man. Only Israel is gonna overcome that. That's one of the rewards. You see, that's one of the perks of being of that lineage of the sons of God, Israelites, man. You know, the men, women, and children, all right, that are delivered going to be changed to immortals, man. And that's going to be the new standard for Israel is immortals. Okay. The scripture say he's going to make us an eternal excellency, man. You see, it says, and in the face of death, all right, it says, and in the face of death, wickedness will certainly not rescue. All right, the wicked, yeah, his wickedness is not going to rescue him, man. Okay, he's not going to be able to scheme a way out of this, man. Okay, and the devil, he thinks he's going to sidestep judgment and prophecy through, you know, trying to find some loophole in science, and that's why he's hoping AI, you know, find some type of probability, okay, where he wins. You see, he's trying to hoping AI can come up with something else. He's hoping AI. The AI that he has, because we know he got all the, you know, the super machines and so forth. Okay, the super AI, you know, and he's hoping that it spit him out an answer. Okay, some type of probability of him winning, but there ain't none. You through, man. Okay, you at the end of the road, man. All right. So let's play a few more. Like I say, well, brother could post that in post 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verses 10 through 13, Baba Bashar. Let's play some more of this.
Perfected soul through God's grace, and the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character.
Could, help people that have brain or spine injuries, restore, enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, give people eyesight who have lost both eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all. And you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, let's say like when technologies are getting like Jesus level miracles, You've got multiple deities here if these are Jesus level solutions. Yeah. Which one do you serve? The reason OpenAI exists at all is that Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I was at his house in Palo Alto. At least my perception was that Larry was not taking AI safety seriously enough. He really seemed to be one sort of digital superintelligence, basically digital God, if you will, as soon as possible.
For generations, humanity imagined the machine as something outside of us. We drove machines, we operated computers, we carried telephones, we used technology as a tool. But transhumanism proposes something fundamentally different. What happens when the machine is no longer in your hand, but inside your body? What happens when technology no longer simply assists humanity, but begins to redesign humanity itself? That question has quietly moved from the pages of science fiction into laboratories, technology conferences, political discussions, corporate research programs, and popular culture. Transhumanism, broadly speaking, is the belief that human beings can use advanced technology to overcome biological limitations, disease, disability, aging, intellectual limitations, and, in its most radical forms, perhaps even death itself. The language
And let's say the brother, let's see, if a brother could put that 2 Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15, you know, because I say immortality is for one nation of people, and the only way for that nation of people to get there is through righteousness, man. You know, which is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15. You see, the thing is, these heathens, just like in the Tower of Babel, they want to build their tower, okay, so they can still live like they want, but then avoid the judgment of the Most High of another flood. Okay, and that's the spirit of Esau. You know, he wants to live how he wants to live according to his, okay, his own will, but still be blessed with immortality, man. You know, what these devils are doing, they're trying to bypass the Most High and just give themselves immortality, man. You see? So yeah, let's I'm gonna fast forward this too. Well, your brother can post that Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15. Let's get to let's say about the 8-minute mark. Yeah, this is Brother Corner Watt. GMS Prayer always hopeful lit. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15. For righteousness is immortal, man. You can't be wicked and destroy the earth, but then want to make yourself immortal. Nigga, everything you're doing is destroying the earth. The climate jacked up. You want to sabotage food so you can have more control over people, man. Everything that you're doing, okay, everything that the devil is doing to try to tap into immortality is causing more death in the earth, man. That's why I say it's counterproductive. Esau is counseling himself out. He's making the earth uninhabitable. Okay, but then speaking of immortality, but he's making the earth uninhabitable, man. Okay, you see how counterproductive that is, man? Okay, the foundation of immortality is righteousness, man. Okay, there's a way to live forever. Okay, and the Lord is going to put that in. That's going to come, because what's going to come with the new bodies is righteousness. That's what's going to make those new bodies immortal, is their righteousness, man. Okay, and you can't go around there. You can't, all right, find a loophole and surpass righteousness, surpass the will of the Lord, and tap into immortality, man. Okay, but we know a lot of people that said scripture say the simple believe every word. So let's play some more of this.
Really doesn't have much meaning anymore. All sorts of forms and that will evolve in the future.
In the future, we will be able to sculpt our bodies like living sculpture. Our bodies could be beautiful electronic designs that shimmer prismatically in the light, in the morning light. After all, the body is an extension of fashion. It could become a piece of marble on one hand and then totally mutate into some fluid type of luminescent snake-like quality.
You can rearrange the human body and try to make humans fly, even though humans are very heavy. Not just trying to take an injured human and returning them to normal, but taking a human and making them superhuman, making them go beyond.
If our children can be more intelligent and healthier and live longer lives through altering our genetics, why would we not want to do it?
We might one day duplicate man, his form, his body, his actions and reactions.
We want to stay the most advanced beings. There seems to be only one solution: to become robots ourselves.
Human as a design is a wonderful design, but humans as a design have some faults.
Whether we like it or not, we're becoming cyborgs. We're becoming transhumans. Transhuman is an evolution from human to post-human, where we're no longer exclusively biological. Are we walking around naked? No, we have clothes. We have eyeglasses. We have earplugs. Now, these are very, very basic, early add-ons to our biology. Prosthetic parts. Inorganic hearts. We will see much more advanced prosthetics in the years to come. Eventually, we'll have entirely prosthetic bodies.
I think we'll gradually integrate more and more technology into our bodies. We'll be replacing our organs with more efficient organs. We'll gradually replace this neural tissue because it dies off after a while. So eventually, I think we'll replace our brain cells with essentially computerized parts. They'll be much more efficient, much more powerful.
Dr. Theodore Berger is head of the Center for Neuroengineering at the University of Southern California. They have collaborated to develop a chip that can replace parts of the brain, or, on a longer time frame, add more brain power. The chip is presently being tested on animals. One problem that remains is how to connect the chip to the brain.
It's a conservative statement to say that by 2025, we'll be able to look inside your brain, see everything that's going on, all the interneuronal connections, all the synaptic clefts, all the neurotransmitter strings, and then reinstantiate that information in a neural computer of sufficient capacity and create basically a copy of the thinking process that takes place in your brain.
To transfer your mind to a computer, this seems to be the ultimate dream of many scientists. To liberate us from our old body that is becoming obsolete in this technological world.
So it's a
There you go, to liberate from their old body. Okay, to liberate from their old body, man. Okay, we're going to let us break these chains from slavery to the Most High. And he thinks that if he can transition out of this body to a body that he made, that he's free, he's liberated. Okay, from the authority of the Most High. Okay, he's liberated from being subjugated to prophecy because he has created something new. Yeah, he's a big dreamer, man. And so there's certain things that he can do, man. But there's a lot of things he can't do, man. You know, a lot of times he just be wishing and just capping, man. You know. Nah, man, nigga, you finna get out of here. That's why the war started, man. The Lord done got the war started, and that's putting pressure on the devil to go ahead and do what he need to do, man. You know, the Lord got the war going the way that it's going, and putting pressure on the devil to do what he need to do, all right, before he's removed from power, man. Okay, nigga, you ain't got all the time to do all this shit you trying to do, man. Okay, cause the crisis and then collapse the dollar. Make the MOTB mandatory, nigga, and let's go. You know, go ahead and crash the economy. Blackouts. What you gonna do? Mandate the CHIP, and then let's see where you stand then when you do that. Okay, so let's play some more of this.
a difficult time to predict what these new humans will be like, but I'm anxious to wait 50 years to see what the answer is.
The ultimate goal is to create robots as small as viruses, called nanobots. These nanobots will be more intelligent than today's computers. Nanobots could be injected into the bloodstream as a kind of cleansing team to kill cancer cells, for example, or to carry out other kinds of maintenance work in the body, or even to modify the DNA code. We will be able to program nanobots to reproduce themselves, just as all natural creatures do. They will then be able to grab material from their environment and use it for making copies of themselves.
Molecular nanotechnology will allow us to change matter at the most fundamental level. It will allow us to build just about any kind of structure to our exact specifications by moving individual atoms.
This sounds like a world of magic, where all that we imagine becomes reality. But the role of the good fairy is taken over by robots so minuscule that we cannot see them. We program them to grant all our wishes. We will be able to inject a certain number of nanobots into our bodies, where they will locate our brain cells and copy their functioning. We will have nanotechnology to control nanotechnology. And it will also provide the ultimate escape route. With no effort, we will get a hardware copy of our consciousness that will then send a software copy to a computer. Then we will be ready to leave this planet and start the exploration of the universe. What is our place in this magical world where everything can be transformed? How will people deal with such a future? Let yourself upload to a network of nanocomputers and let the wind carry you.
it's important to recognize that the post-human epoch is coming. You can see it written in the pages of magazines. It's the word of the prophet is on the subway walls here. We really, really do want to violate human limits now, and we're getting closer and closer. You're no longer human doesn't mean you don't have the same personality problems that you did before. It doesn't liberate you from yourself. It probably makes you more than you were before.
Music and the machine-human aesthetic. The imagery has also entered music and celebrity culture. For decades, musicians and visual artists have experimented with robotic bodies, metallic skin, artificial eyes, futuristic laboratories, cloning imagery, android alter egos, and combinations of flesh and machinery. Sometimes this imagery is simply artistic experimentation. Sometimes it represents alienation, technological anxiety, sexuality, power, or futurism rather than literal advocacy for transhumanism. But culturally, something significant has still happened. The cyborg has become glamorous. The machine-human hybrid is no longer automatically portrayed as a monster. It can be beautiful, powerful, sexy, intelligent, evolutionary, even godlike. And that represents an enormous shift in imagination. Earlier generations frequently portrayed the artificial human as something frightening, the creature that had crossed a forbidden boundary. Modern culture increasingly asks another question. What if becoming partly artificial makes you better? That is remarkably close to the central question of transhumanism. The real world is beginning to catch up outside entertainment. The conversation becomes much more concrete. Companies working on brain-computer interfaces are attempting to create direct communication between the human nervous system and computers. Neuralink, founded by Elon Musk, has developed implantable brain-computer interface technology and has conducted human trials. Its near-term medical ambitions include helping people with severe neurological disabilities interact with computers. That distinction matters. A device allowing a paralyzed person to operate a computer through neural signals can reasonably be understood as medicine, not some sinister transformation of humanity. But the philosophical question begins when therapeutic technology becomes enhancement technology. Suppose an implant eventually does more than restore something that was lost. Suppose it increases memory. Suppose artificial eyes eventually see farther than biological eyes. Suppose artificial limbs eventually become stronger than natural limbs. Suppose neural implants allow information to move directly between computers and the brain.
And all they're doing is just experimenting on people under the banner of healthcare. So they take these people that, blind and have these infirmities or whatever. Okay. And then just a free experiment on them. You see? Because they're just doing this to see how this technology reacts to the body. They're trying to perfect this technology for them. Okay. To try to reach, immortality or godhood, whatever fantasy this nigga got. Okay. So I said the New World Order is just the beginning of this nigga turning the earth into a big lab. Okay, you think it'll stop with the C-hip? Nah, man, it's gonna be it will be something else, and it's just the Lord's just gonna let this nigga get to the C-hip. Okay, but this nigga will never stop. You will be a forever experiment. All right, for these elite families to try to tap into immortality, man, in the New World Order. Okay. Let's play a little more play.
What point have we stopped healing the human body and started redesigning the human being? That is where the transhumanist debate becomes profound. The quest to defeat aging, another major frontier, is longevity. Powerful entrepreneurs and investors have poured extraordinary amounts of money into biotechnology, genetics, regenerative medicine, and research into the mechanisms of aging. The ancient human dream of escaping death has therefore acquired a modern vocabulary. Instead of fountains of youth, we hear about cellular rejuvenation. Instead of magical immortality, we hear about life extension. Instead of mystical transformation, we hear about biotechnology. And some futurists go even further, imagining a time when human consciousness could theoretically be preserved digitally or transferred into another substrate. Whether such mind uploading will ever actually be possible is completely unresolved. Neuroscience has not demonstrated that a person's consciousness can simply be copied into a computer, yet the ambition itself is revealing. Humanity is contemplating the possibility of separating human existence from the biological body. Political and global leaders have entered the conversation. The technological transformation of humanity is no longer discussed only by eccentric science fiction writers. Governments and international institutions now seriously discuss artificial intelligence, biotechnology, genetic engineering, neurotechnology, and the enormous ethical questions surrounding them. Israeli historian and author Yuval Noah Harari, who has spoken extensively at major international forums, has become one of the most recognizable public voices discussing the possibility that biotechnology and artificial intelligence could enable humans to manipulate bodies, brains, and behavior in unprecedented ways. Harari is not simply saying everyone should become a cyborg. Much of his commentary is actually warning about the political consequences of these technologies. But the fact that these conversations are occurring at the highest levels of global intellectual and political culture demonstrates how far the subject has moved. This is no longer merely, could somebody build a cyborg? The questions are becoming, who controls human enhancement? Who owns biological data? Who regulates brain-computer interfaces? Could governments or corporations gain unprecedented access to human behavior? Could wealthy people eventually purchase biological advantages unavailable to everyone else? And perhaps the deepest question, who gets to decide what the future human being should become?
Yeah, man, and we'll leave it there. I'll put the rest of it in the now I think about the 26-minute mark. I guess the little chick that's doing the video, she tries to go into the scriptures and she don't, yeah. So she tries to go into the scriptures after that and try to make sense of it, but nah, that ain't her thing. But let's play this. I mean, let me post this, and then there's one more video I'm gonna queue up. I know the Elder Yashawamba had posted something in one of his latest news and prophecy that I wanted to go into a little snippet of it. So let's play this. All right, this is from Eliasha Wamba, latest news and prophecy. All right, order out of chaos. The missiles make more sense day by day. You know, and that's the only thing left is disruption. We have to look at, as we looking at this man and what his talking points and what he's trying to do, and where he wants to go with this thing, man. It's just time for the destruction. That's why the Lord has started. All right, the war. The war is locked in. You know, ain't no getting out this war. It's locked in. So this devil, all right, has to come on with his move, man. Okay? So, because the war is going to lead to the nuclear destruction. It's going to lead to the second coming of Yahweh Shah, man. You know, to execute judgment and righteousness in the earth. Now, let's go. Let's see. Get it up. Yep, this is the brother beyond Yashala, Psalms 144 and 11. It says, rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, man. Okay? So this devil, you know, he's speaking nothing but vanity, man. This new world order is all vain, you know, because first it's not ordained by Yahweh by Shema Shai. Okay? So it's doomed from its conception. You know, so no matter what, you know, achievement this day, you know, it don't matter. It doesn't matter what scientific achievement that the devil was able, you know, to bring to pass. It's not ordained by Yahweh by Shema Shai. It's going to be rejected, just like the sacrifice of Cain. Okay, it was rejected. You see, so Esau, his new world order is finna get rejected, man. Okay. Let's see. I see that you post Second Edges 2 and 13. For Baba Kashaf, you can post Second Edges chapter 10, 11 and 12 as well. That's second Ezra chapter 10, 11 and 12. Okay, well, let's play a little bit of this, and then we'll get a couple more precepts.
All right. Well, good. Okay, well, good. They bring it all out.
Gods. Billy, I know you probably know about this, but Elon Musk in Texas, they're erecting a 50-foot statue of Prometheus, and the individual that's involved in this, they're wanting to do this nationwide. Did you see that report on that?
Well, a lot of this behavior that you're mentioning with referring to the other gods is not a surprise. Elon Musk, by the way, we dealt with him in a massive mega detail. If you haven't seen our study, it's a 2-part documentary book, DVD set, The Global Elites.
Of course, they're selling, making, making money. But okay, all right, whatever.
And the Antichrist. And in volume 2, I took a deep dive on all things Elon Musk, and he is not our friend. And I found 11 direct parallels, 11, not 5, not 2, 11 direct parallels of the business ventures he's involved in that are exact parallels of the Great Reset agenda. So this guy is building the global beast system. You can't escape it. Most people are catching on to the Starlink, the Neuralink connection, but it goes way deeper than that. I also deal with the background of these global elites, including Musk. And I don't know how to put it other than it's dark and it's satanic. And if you want a taste of it, just go take a look at one of his many wives. And he's, I think, fathered 13 children now or something like that. And one of them was Grimes, very satanic. Man, why you would link up with that? But you look at his mom, Mae Musk, involved in modeling. Go look online, general search. She's doing some freaky occult stuff and all kinds of stuff. So that's a part of his heritage. So my point is, so combined with the occult background that a lot of these elites have and are still involved in, by the way, and that came out in the Epstein files, but also combine it with their belief of transhumanism. And part of the belief in transhumanism is that they're the new gods on the planet. And so, shocker, why would they pick, mythological characters, demigods, and godlike creatures to name their programs and things of that nature and to honor themselves? It's because this is the same mindset. It's coming from the same root.
Right. Now, since you've opened that can of worms, let's dig a little bit deeper on this. So it's not just Elon Musk, but it's Peter Thiel, it's Larry Ellison. We know them three, amongst others. All of them has this this endeavor to push humanism. That's like their goal. And it's
Now, humanism. All right. What are the roots? Is Rome the root of humanism?
Now, when they were saying they wanted to erect these statues of Prometheus, well, let's get into Prometheus. Okay, and what is the story behind this guy? All right, there's nothing but Greco-Roman, deities. You see? So when you go to let's see. I'll just answer, what is the god Prometheus known for? All right, he said Prometheus is best known in Greek mythology as the Titan who stole fire from the gods to give to humanity. Okay? So it says key legends and associations. It says forethought. His name literally means forethought or forethinker, representing wisdom and intelligence. Okay? And this devil thinks that he has enough wisdom and intelligence that he is able to gather enough data, all right, regulated with AI, to where he has, the forethought, he can think ahead of the Most High. You see, he can outthink the Most High now. He has, the data, he has the AI to sort the data to where he can be a forethinker. You see, he can come up with an agenda that bypasses the prophecies of the Most High, man. Okay, and the Lord got this nigga with this dumbass way of thinking. Okay, just so the Lord can show power through judgment, man. It says he is often credited with shaping the first humans out of clay and water. It says after Zeus withheld fire from mortals, Prometheus stole it in a fennel stalk and brought it back to earth, enabling civilization, arts, and science. Okay, so Prometheus, all right, at the eyes of Esau is, the God that enabled, he stole, technology. Basically, he's the origin of technology. That he stole technology from the heavens and brought it to the earth, enabling humans to create civilization, arts, and tap into science, man. Okay? And these are all, the vain, myths, okay, that Esau, is pushing, to go with his transhumanism. And then when you go into, let me see. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Let's go back here. I'll say we can get a few precepts on this, brother. Yeah, I think it's 11. Yeah, let's go here. We'll go precepts, we'll close out. When we go here to first, just get that in Ezekiel. Get this in Ezekiel 35. Okay, because what we're seeing is Esau boast against the Most High. He's become extremely proud. Okay, as if he got this thing figured out. As if he's going to be able, to alter prophecy in his favor. You see? So let's go to Ezekiel 35. And this whole chapter is going against Esau. Nothing but bad news for Esau when you go into this chapter. Okay, but when you go here, all right, this is Ezekiel 35 and 13. It said, "Thus with your mouth have ye boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them." You see? So the Most High is going to respond. All right, the devil, he's been able to, run amok in the earth. So he's been able to just have this, these resources and time to experiment with this and tap into this and learn about this and get into the neurons and also the mRNA and the DNA and, the molecules. And you see, he's had all this time to just run amok. Okay. And he's been able to tap into some things, and it made him very boastful, even boastful against the Most High. Okay. But the Lord is like, look, I have, thus with your mouth have you boasted against me, have multiplied your words against me. So he's multiplying his words against the Lord. So he's just going all out with it, saying this and saying that. We can do this and we can do that. And, why not? We can do this. We can make it better. Creation is flawed. I got it figured out. He's just multiplying his words against the Most High. And the Lord says, I have heard them. Okay? You see? So now what we're going to see is our power respond. And it's going to, and it's begun with the Lord allowing, this war. You see, verse 14, thus said the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. You see? This is the end game for Esau, man, who's at the forefront of this rebellion, is that this devil is going to be desolate, man. This devil is going to lose everything. First, he's going to lose his power, okay, his wealth, okay, his liberty, all this liberty. No, you're going to lose that liberty, man. All right, and you're going into captivity for 1,000 years, and then you're going to become desolate as a nation, man. You're going to be eradicated. Okay, and these heathens will be subjugated to the right way. And the heathen, they're going to rejoice at the end of that 1,000 year, man. Okay, because they're going to see to the earth, the benefits of the earth in righteousness, man. Okay. that these heathens, after 1,000 years, they're going to be in the spirit of rejoicing. You're going to be eradicated, man. You see, and it's going to be a high holy day, the destruction of Edom out of the earth, man. You see, that's that serpent finally getting evicted out of the garden. Okay. This is verse 15. It says, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate. Yeah, because we, were disobedient. The Lord made us cease to exist as a kingdom. Reduced us to slaves. Okay, and the devils rejoiced at that. Okay, it says, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, this America being destroyed, and they shall know that I'm the Lord. All right, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, because the destruction of America is the beginning of Esau's captivity, man. And it's going to happen in this third world war. So the Lord is beginning to respond to the devil. It's going to begin with these alliance of nations. It's going to take America off the map. Okay, which is going to usher in Yahweh Shah to destroy all the heathen, the militaries of the heathen. Okay, and put the remnant of the heathen in captivity. Okay, and that's going to be the beginning of the 1,000-year, period of righteousness. Okay, being reestablished in the earth. Okay, by Yahweh Shah. On the joint heirs, those first fruits. Okay, and the rest of the elect. You see, so let's go here. Let's get this in 2nd Ezra, chapter 2. Keep doing it. This is about the 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, and verse starting at 10. It says, thus said the Lord unto Ezra, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given unto Israel. So the Lord, like I would have, being gave them the kingdom. But we had to be refined through suffering, man. And we had to grow an appreciation for righteousness, man. You see, because Adam was given rulership, he failed. King Solomon was given rulership, he failed. Yahweh Shah had to earn it. You see, which created a level of appreciation to be born in another man's kingdom and suffer. Okay, as the son of God. Well, we're in this same state. You see, born in Edom, Rome. Made to suffer. All right, but it's refining us, it's perfecting us as we've awakened to who we are. You see, so that's why this truth has a level of bitterness to it, because it's that bitterness that's that's cleansing the spirit. You see, and making us fit to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shah. It says, their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles. You see that? Their glory will I take unto me. And what is the glory of the Most High? He's immortal. You see? He's immortal. So their glory I'm going to take unto me. I'm going to make them liken unto me. Okay? And we're going to get that in twinkling of an eye. And this devil doing all these tacky ass experiments and, fake arm and, going, cutting your head open and putting a neuro lace, all these goddamn lines running through your brain and cords and running out of you, man. Nah, man, we're going to have it in this perfection and righteousness, man. You see, we just going to be. And it says, and give these the everlasting tabernacle, which is a new body, which I have prepared for them. They shall have of the tree of life for an ornament and a sweet savor. they shall neither labor nor be weary, man. We're not gonna have to labor and figure out immortality, man. It's gonna be given to us, man. It's gonna be another level of wisdom we're gonna be opened up to in those new bodies, man. You know, and we're gonna have the wisdom, man. The earth is gonna run in this in righteousness, and it's gonna run us in this efficiency, man. You see, we're gonna be in our rest in those new bodies. You know, we're just gonna get to be, not have a thought of death, man. Okay. Verse 13 says, "Go and you shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch, man. It's already prepared, and we're watching. And all the moves are being made. It's going to end Esau's kingdom. Okay." These little few cards, hey, these 2 cards that he got left, the civil unrest and the mandate of the MOTB, he out of here, man. Okay. And we haven't even started yet, man. You see? So I'll leave it there. You know, that's the point. Or will. Yes. Yeah, it's interesting, you know. But yes, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful like Shalom.